Okay, so in this video, I'm going to introduce the topic of annuities. So an annuity has a couple of key features here. And basically, the features are you have the same amount every period for a specified number of periods. So those are the key features of an annuity. Same amount every period for a specified number of periods. So we have the same cash flow or payment. I tend to use the cash flow and payment relatively interchangeably. Some books and things actually do more of a distinction, but I tend to use cash flow and payment relatively interchangeably. Um, Now, if I'm looking at the same amount every period for a specified number of periods, it is important to note that we need to be mindful of when in the period the cash flow is happening, because a dollar in year one is worth a different amount from a dollar in year two or a dollar today. So we need to be paying attention to when in the period the cash flow is occurring. And that brings us to the two different types of annuities. So the two different types of annuities that we have are ordinary annuities and annuity due. Based on ordinary annuity and an annuity due. For an ordinary annuity, the payment happens at the end of every period. For an annuity due, the payment happens at the beginning of every period. So if you're thinking about some possible examples of ordinary annuities versus annuity dues, an ordinary annuity example would be a typical fixed rate mortgage. So for a typical fixed rate mortgage, you're making the same payment every period and you pay at the end of every period. For an annuity due, a good example would be rent. So generally speaking, you pay your rent and then you live there for the month and then you pay for the next month and then you live there. So in that case, the payment is happening at the beginning of each period. So that would be an annuity due during the term of the lease when your rent payment is fixed. Now, there is sort of a special case, and that is a perpetuity. So the special case of a perpetuity is an annuity that's the same amount every period, but the number of periods is infinite. So it's basically forever. So same amount every period, but forever. So in that case, it's an infinite number of periods. And actually, as it turns out, finding the present value of a perpetuity is actually going to be easier than finding the present value of an ordinary annuity or an annuity due, just because the formula is a little bit easier. But I will address that in a subsequent video. So things to remember, every annuity has the same amount every period for a specified number of periods. And it is either at the beginning of the period or the end of the period. If it is happening at the end of the period, it's called an ordinary annuity. If the payment is happening at the beginning of the period, it is an annuity due. If you're wondering which one's more common, it would be the ordinary annuity, which is why it is called ordinary. Okay. Hopefully this has been helpful. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.